All right, next question. What we'll do first is, per usual, we'll read the question sentence first. Because remember, everybody, whether or not the question sentence tells you exactly what math needs to be done, that's up in the air. That sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. But what always happens is the conclusion of the story. It will tell you how the story ends. So here it says, how many pallets can fit in the warehouse by volume? One more time, everybody. How many pallets can fit in the warehouse by volume? So everybody, even though we clearly see the word volume and we know that to be a very specific geometry word, I want to say this. There's actually a much bigger phrase or word that I should highlight in this question sentence. What is that word going to be or phrase going to be, everybody? Yeah, if you are screaming your head off saying fit, how many of the pallets can fit in the warehouse by volume? Oh yeah, that's absolutely it. That is absolutely it. The first keyword is, volume. We're dealing with volume. Sure, they're making that clear, but you won't get the correct answer unless you know what you're supposed to do with the volume. And you're trying to see how many of the pallets can fit into the warehouse by volume. So everybody, let's think about it like this. We have two things. We have the volume of our warehouse, and we have the volume of a single pallet. If we want to know how many of these pallets can fit into the warehouse, we'll be dividing. We will be dividing to see how many of one can fit into the other. That's division all day. And to know what you're dividing, look no further than the question sentence. You're dividing the volumes so you can see how many of one fit into the other. So here we go. The warehouse, we're told explicitly and clearly that it's 8 feet long, 6 feet wide, and 6 feet tall. So what we have here is 8 by 6 by 6. So we'll have that listed, and there we are. Up next, we'll take a look at the pallet, and the pallet shows in purple, I'll underline it, we have 2 by 2 by 2. So everybody, while the pallet is technically a rectangular prism, just a pop quiz while we're working on this, what can we also call the pallet? Just by what you see, 2 by 2 by 2, even though a pallet will never be this three-dimensional shape, this pallet here, apparently this one's a cube. Apparently we have a cube pallet, but hey, I'm not a manufacturer. I only made this problem. I only work here. So anyways, we have 2 by 2 by 2. We'll write that down. And that's what our volume is going to be. So from here, let's just calculate each volume, see how many fit in from one to the other by division, and we're done. So let's get to work here. 8 times 6 times 6. Everybody, if we do 8 times 6, that'll give us 48. And then 48 times 6 is what we are going to finish with the calculation here. Let's just go ahead and figure out what that is. 48 times 6. 8 times 6 is, 48. And then we have 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 4 is 28. So we have 288. And you could have done it the other way too. We could have done 6 by 6 first, which is 36. 36 times 8 would have been, again, 288, just the same. From here, we have the pallet, which is going to be 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then if we multiply by the 2 again, we end up getting 8. So everybody, do we now see the two values, the two volumes that we're going to be dividing? Do we now see those plain and clearly? Good. So now what we're going to do is divide them. Remember, everybody, the big question, let me just erase some of this extra, annotation going on here. The true question that we've been answering from the jump is right here. It is, how many pallets can fit into the warehouse? And remember, when we're talking about how much of anything can fit into another by amount or count, That's division. That is division all day. So we'll go ahead and divide 288 by 8. We can do that with long division here as well if we wanted to. 8 going into 2 doesn't work. 8 going into 28, that's going to be 3. From there, we subtract the 24. We leave 4 left over, drop the 8. And then we ask, how many times does 8 go into 48? And that'll be 6. So we have that right there. And there we go. How many pallets can fit? 36 pallets. And that makes the correct answer here, my friends. Answer choice D, 36.